Hello and welcome to Sales Tips by Fortreal Real Estate Academy, Nigeria's #1 real estate academy. In this video, we want to chat about somewhere around 7 things or 7 reasons why you have not been closing consistently. It is the desire of every realtor, it is the desire of every broker, real estate developer, that there is consistent sales at every point that you put out a product. All right. And of course, there's marketing, there's sales, but we're not talking about marketing today. I just want to focus on the closing, right? So I'll try to make it 7, but from my mind right now, we're going to look at 5 key reasons or factors as it relates to why you have not been closing consistently. My name is Raymond Ijoma, and I am the lead facilitator of the Fortreal Real Estate Academy right here in Nigeria. And on this YouTube channel, we share freely important and basic tips that would help you to sell real estate and close consistently. And of course, we have a paid program. And if you're interested in upping your game and taking your game to the very next level, then I highly recommend our real estate courses. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, drop a comment, and be a part of this family, because right here, we teach you how to sell real estate consistently. So let's get right into the conversation. Now, the very first reason why a whole lot of persons are not able to sell real estate or close consistently is, number 1, lack of quality lead generation. Yes, this is literally, and of course, this is mainly a marketing problem. When you have a marketing problem, in fact, I have a definition of effective marketing for real estate, right? You can be a good marketer in the bank, you can be a good marketer of anything, but if you're not, or if you don't understand how effective marketing works for real estate, then you're going to have a problem selling real estate consistently. All right. So you need to put in effective marketing to get quality lead. And the moment there is lack in your quality lead generation, then you are definitely going to have issues closing consistently. All right. And then, of course, we're going to have to, for each of these points, we're going to have to talk about them individually in other videos. The second reason why a lot of persons are not able to close consistently is the fact that they lack understanding on how to qualify every lead. So in your sales funnel, you can have 1,000 people reach out to you. Of course, there is a formula for sales funnel, but that's a conversation for another day. All right. So in your sales funnel, you can have 1,000 people reach out to you as leads, but it is now your job to qualify, especially if you're someone who is into running of ads. All right. So it means that your leads are largely based on interruption and not search based. So if your leads are largely based on interruption and not search based, in other words, people were just scrolling through their phones and then they saw your post, all right, based on the ads that you're running, and they're reaching out to you. At that point, they may not be ready, may not be capable, but they just possibly want to window shop or check out the product because they like what you're doing, or basically just want to have an idea of how much that particular party worth. But it's a different situation entirely. It's a different ballgame entirely when that person intentionally was searching for that particular product. These are 2 different types of leads. All right. That is why at any point that the realtor is asking me a question about, oh, this client is not doing that, the client is not serious, and all of that, the first question I always will ask you is, how did you get the client, or how did the client reach out to you? Because from there, that question or the answer you give to me based on that question is meant to help me define as well as qualify that client. And of course, there's another thing that you have to pay attention to. Hopefully, I will do another video to explain that, which is your trust establishment zone. For a lot of persons, they may not buy from you when they reach out or the week they reach out to you. Sometimes, or a lot of times, in my opinion, they want to understand you, they want to trust you, they want to be sure that they can deal in terms of real estate transaction with you. And you have to have an idea that this is what this person wants to do before you begin to follow up bumper to bumper, right? Because if you follow up unnecessarily based on your understanding or maybe your pressure to want to sell at that particular point in time, you may end up getting these clients angry, pressured, or you communicate desperation. Right? So at some point, this client will move to where I refer to as the trust establishment zone, the TEZ. or Z, right? But if you are not careful and you don't play with the rules of follow-up based on the status of this client, you either block them or you either have them block you, or you basically lose the client. All right. So qualifying your lead, it's important, and there's a journey, a process to that. 3 is how your product fits their need. If your product doesn't fit the need of that particular client at that particular point in time, then you most definitely will not be able to close, except the guy just has excess money and just wants to buy whatever you provide at that particular point in time. But if the guy has clarity, the client or the prospect has clarity as it relates to his or her need at that particular point in time, and your product doesn't fit, then you have a problem closing. And sometimes you as a realtor, or we as realtors, we end up following somebody up for a product they don't need. And the reason that happens is because you are breaking the rule of qualifying your lead. The 4th reason why a lot of realtors are not able to close consistently is because of how they handle objections. I'm going to tell you for free, there's almost no real estate transaction that you want to do that the client will not at some point, or 90% of the occasions, have objections. And if you don't know how to handle those objections, then definitely you are going to be losing that client, because again, there will always be objections. Your job is to understand the client. Your job is to understand the product, look into the transaction to know how to handle every transaction. And if you have a challenge right there, you can look through this YouTube channel and you would see a video where I talked about the basics of how to handle objections. The very last one I'll share in this particular video, because of time, is how they perceived you before they actually reached out to you. And that is a matter of your branding as well as their perception of you, again, which is a matter of your projection. If you project the wrong thing, then they perceive the wrong thing. I've always thought, if you're familiar with this YouTube channel, if you're familiar with Fortreal Rei Ltd Academy, you will know the principle of P2P, projection equals perception. If they perceive you as the person they can trust, then definitely they will patronize you, and that will automatically mean you closing consistently. This definitely will help you, and I know for a fact that this is what I practice and I literally do every other day to close consistently. If you want to up your game and go for our paid program, then you can reach out to the number showing right on the screen. If you have a question, I can gladly respond to it in the comment section of this particular video. And of course, again, this is brought to you by Fortreal Real Estate Academy. You can reach out to the number on your screen if you're interested in our paid program today. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.